Did Adolf Hitler really die in his bunker in 1945, or is there more to the story? It's a question that's been asked time and time again, and it's shrouded in layers of mystery, speculation, and contradiction. While most historians agree that on April 30th, 1945, Hitler met his end in his bunker in Berlin, there's a fascinating array of theories suggesting otherwise. These theories weave tales of ingenious escape plans, secret submarines, and hidden lives in far-flung corners of the world. Even figures like Stalin and Zhukov cast doubt on the official narrative, adding fuel to the fire of speculation. Despite a wealth of evidence pointing to Hitler's death in 1945, including dental records and eyewitness accounts, these theories persist. They paint a picture of a world where the Führer managed to cheat death and escape the besieged city of Berlin. So, let's dive into the chronology of events leading to Hitler's alleged escape. As the Soviet troops besieged Berlin, Hitler was reportedly in his bunker, preparing for his end. Picture this: the year is 1945, the world is at war, and Berlin is under siege. Inside a fortified bunker, Adolf Hitler, the man who had once commanded an empire, was said to be preparing for his final act. The bunker was a grim setting. It was here that Hitler purportedly spent his last days, a far cry from the pomp and grandeur he was once accustomed to. The walls echoed with the distant rumble of artillery, a constant reminder of the impending doom. In these last days, a surprising event unfolded. Hitler married his longtime companion, Eva Braun, a curious decision given the circumstances, adding another layer of intrigue to an already mysterious tale. This event was followed by the drafting of Hitler's last will and testament, where he outlined his final wishes and named his successors. And then came the alleged end. The story goes that Hitler and Braun committed suicide together, preferring death over capture. Their bodies were said to be hastily cremated in the bunker's garden, a grim finale to a tumultuous reign. But here's the twist. Despite the narrative that's been widely accepted, not everyone was convinced. Eyewitness accounts varied wildly. Some claimed the bodies were unrecognizable, raising questions about their identities. The evidence was scarce, the scene hastily cleaned up. It was as if someone wanted to erase the traces, to make sure no one would ever know the truth. And then, there were the rumors. Whispers that Hitler had managed to escape from the besieged Berlin. Some even believed that the whole suicide act was a well-crafted ruse to cover his tracks. But why would someone go to such lengths? What could possibly be the motive behind this grand deception? But not everyone was convinced. Some believed that Hitler had managed to escape from the besieged Berlin. Marshal Zhukov, among others, was convinced that Hitler could have escaped from Berlin by plane. Yes, you heard right. A plane. Amidst the tumultuous chaos of a city under siege, somehow, the theory suggests, Hitler managed to board a plane and fly away. But that's not the only escape theory that's been bandied about over the years. There's also the submarine theory. This one was backed by none other than Stalin himself, who firmly believed that the Führer had fled Germany via a submarine. This would have been no small feat considering the extensive naval blockades and constant aerial surveillance of the time. Then, we have the body double theory. This one's a bit of a Hollywood trope, but stay with me. The theory posits that Hitler used a look-alike to fool the world into believing he had died in his bunker, while he himself slipped away unnoticed. It's certainly a theory that's full of intrigue, but it's also one that lacks concrete evidence. Speaking of evidence, or rather the lack thereof, it's important to note that all these theories, while fascinating, lack the hard facts to back them up. The plane theory? No flight records. The submarine theory? No submarine sightings or records. The body double theory? No credible witnesses or forensic evidence. Despite the lack of conclusive proof, these theories continue to circulate. Fueled by a desire to believe in the survival of the infamous dictator, these theories suggest that Hitler could have survived and escaped. But where did he go? Well, that's a question for our next scene, so stick around as we dive into the theories of Hitler's life after the war. If Hitler did escape, where could he have gone? The most popular theory suggests Argentina. This South American country has become the focal point of many a conspiracy theory, with claims of Hitler living there post-war, hiding in plain sight. Let's dive into this idea. Argentina, in the years following the Second World War, had an administration sympathetic to the fallen Reich, and it became a haven for many who fled from war crimes tribunals. It is here that some believe Hitler found refuge, living a life of obscurity and seclusion. Witness accounts from the late 40s and early 50s report sightings of a man resembling Hitler in various parts of Argentina. These reports were enough to stir the interest of the FBI, leading to an investigation into the alleged Hitler sightings. However, despite the intriguing premise, these investigations failed to provide any substantial evidence to support the claims. In one particular case, a photograph came to light showing a man bearing a striking resemblance to Hitler, living in a community of German expatriates. Yet upon further investigation, the man in the photograph was found to be an ordinary German immigrant with no ties to the infamous dictator. The lack of conclusive evidence hasn't deterred the believers. The idea of Hitler living a quiet life, hidden away in a remote Argentinian village, continues to captivate the imaginations of many. Yet it's important to note that these claims have been widely debunked by historians and experts alike. The evidence, or rather the lack of it, points to these sightings being nothing more than the product of overactive imaginations fueled by the enigma that surrounds Hitler's death. So was Hitler really in Argentina, or is it just another part of the myth? As with many things related to Hitler's supposed escape, the truth remains elusive, buried under layers of speculation, half-truths, and myth. The Argentina theory, while fascinating, lacks the concrete proof needed to shift it from the realm of conspiracy theory to accepted fact. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, these conspiracy theories about Hitler's survival persist. But why? It's a question that has puzzled historians and conspiracy theorists alike for decades. One reason lies in the human fascination with the unknown, the unexplained, and the mysterious. The circumstances surrounding Hitler's death are shrouded in uncertainty, leaving room for speculation and alternative narratives to take root. In addition, there's a refusal among some to accept Hitler's ignominious death. For them, it's inconceivable that such a figure, who held the world in a state of terror for over a decade, could meet such an ordinary end. They imagine an escape, a secret life after the war, a man who is larger than life, continuing to be so even after his supposed death. Furthermore, there is a desire among some to uphold Hitler's perceived genius and superiority. Despite his atrocities, there are those who admire his strategic acumen and leadership. They believe that a man of his caliber could not have been cornered so easily, that he must have outsmarted his enemies one last time and escaped. And let's not forget the role of media and popular culture. Countless books, movies, and TV shows have explored the possibility of Hitler's escape, often dramatizing and romanticizing the narrative. This continual portrayal keeps the conspiracy theories alive in the public imagination. Lastly, these theories persist because they serve a certain purpose for different groups of people. For some, they provide a sense of closure, a way to make sense of one of the darkest periods in human history. For others, they are a means to push a political or ideological agenda. The mystery surrounding Hitler's death continues to intrigue us, even decades after the end of World War II. So, did Hitler really die in his bunker? Or did he manage to escape and live out his days in Argentina? This question has been the focal point of our discussion. We've traversed the labyrinth of theories, from the claustrophobic final days in the bunker to the daring escape possibilities. We've even ventured into the intriguing notion of Hitler finding refuge in Argentina. Yet, it's important to remember that these are theories, captivating as they may be. The concrete evidence we have, from dental records to eyewitness accounts, all point towards Hitler's demise in that Berlin bunker in 1945. The persistence of these theories, however, says as much about us as it does about Hitler. It speaks to our fascination with the macabre, our attraction to the sensational, and our enduring interest in one of history's most infamous figures. While the mystery of Hitler's death may never be fully solved, the fascination with these conspiracy theories shows our enduring interest in one of history's most infamous figures.